This was supposed to be the holiday of a lifetime. Instead, it became a living nightmare. It was January 13th, 2012. At 7:15 p.m., the Costa Concordia, the world's largest Italian cruise ship, set sail for a 7-day tour of Europe. A magnificent vessel, carrying over 4,000 to 100 souls. It was even bigger than the Titanic, with an extra 2,000 seats. On board, it was a city of entertainment, for swimming pools, 5 restaurants, 13 bars, a casino, a basketball court, a massive fitness center, and even an F1 racing simulator. The first destination was Savona, Italy, about a day's journey away. But just 2.5 hours after leaving port, a sudden, piercing noise ripped through the ship, shocking everyone. The lights went out. The entire vessel lurched and began to tilt heavily to one side. It was 9:45 p.m. Some passengers were already in bed, while others were enjoying their dinner. Plates and glasses slid off tables, crashing to the floor. An announcement came over the speakers. It's an electrical failure, but that was a lie. The engine room had failed, and the captain was hiding the truth. As the ship tilted more and more, passengers began to realize this was no ordinary blackout. Some feared a repeat of another maritime disaster that had happened exactly 100 years prior. The Titanic. In a moment of chilling irony, the theme from the movie Titanic, "My Heart Will Go On," was reportedly playing in one of the dining halls as the chaos began. Water was flooding the lower decks. Panic started to spread like wildfire. Why weren't they being told what was really happening? The ship was operated by Costa Concordia, which was later acquired by the Carnival Corporation. The Costa Concordia itself was a modern marvel, launched in 2006 at a cost of $570 million. The man in command was Captain Francesco Schettino, a veteran of the company since 2002. So what went so horribly wrong? At 7:18 p.m., the ship left port, but just 2 hours later, it veered off its planned route. Captain Schettino wanted to perform a sail-by salute past the island of Giglio. Normally, ships of this size maintain a safe distance of 7 to 8 kilometers from the coast. The Costa Concordia came within 150 meters. In the shallow waters, it struck a reef of rocks, which tore a massive 70-meter-long gash in the portside hull. Seawater began pouring in at an incredible rate. Third Officer Andrea Carollo was awakened by the jolt. He stepped out of his cabin into a flooded hallway and immediately sprinted towards the engine room. He saw that the emergency generators had also failed. The situation was catastrophic. Yet, the captain still told passengers over the intercom, "Nothing to worry about. It's just a blackout." By 10 p.m., the ship was listing so badly that it turned back toward the island. The tilt was becoming more and more severe. The crisis coordinator on shore called the ship. It was only after a critical delay that the captain finally admitted they had problems. Time that could have been used for an orderly evacuation was lost. Passengers were finally told to gather at the muster stations. The ship was now tilted at a terrifying 30-degree angle. With over 4,000 to 100 people on board, chaos erupted. The crew struggled to launch the lifeboats from the heavily listing deck. In the confusion and terror, some desperate passengers jumped into the cold, dark water, trying to swim the short distance to the island. Amid the chaos, true heroes emerged. A crew member named Karnota Ramashana found a blind woman, leading her to safety. Others physically carried passengers in wheelchairs to get them onto lifeboats. Tragically, some paid the ultimate price. Russell Rebello, a waiter, drowned after giving his own life jacket to a passenger and staying behind to help others. But where was the captain? Francesco Schettino had abandoned his ship. He was among the first to get into a lifeboat and reach the shore, leaving thousands of passengers and crew to fend for themselves. The island of Giglio has a population of only about 700 people. As the disaster unfolded, the locals sprang into action. They opened their homes, churches, and shops to the freezing. Terrified survivors, the island's deputy mayor, seeing the chaos from the shore, jumped into his own boat, motored out to the sinking ship, and began pulling people from the water. By sunrise, a massive rescue operation was underway, but the ship lay on its side, a wounded giant. Most passengers had been saved, but tragically, 32 people lost their lives. The search and rescue operation would continue for weeks. In the aftermath, the Costa Concordia became the largest passenger ship ever to be wrecked. The salvage and scrapping operation was an unprecedented engineering feat, costing over $2 billion. Captain Schettino was put on trial and ultimately convicted of manslaughter, causing a maritime disaster, and abandoning his ship. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison. His actions were contrasted with crew members like Roberto Bosio, the second in command, who stayed on board until the very end, coordinating the evacuation and saving countless lives. The story of the Costa Concordia is a chilling reminder of how leadership and honesty are paramount in a crisis. One man's arrogance and cowardice led to disaster, while the bravery of others saved lives. It makes you wonder, what would you have done if you were on that ship? Would you have trusted the official announcements? Or would you have taken matters into your own hands? If you found this story as gripping as we did, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We bring you more real-life mysteries and incredible true events every week. Thanks for watching.